Join two sisters who explore the couples that fandoms adore. We write their stories in the night in the glow of computer light. Eyes connect, clothing flies. In our head, canon love never dies. Stencils that leave us pining in deep forums. We are mining for this journey. Better strap in, because we all know that shit happens.
Welcome to the podcast that explores the couples fans can't stop dreaming about from the pop culture you love. Because when it comes to your favorite movies your teacher put on during the last week of school before summer break, ship happens.
We're your host. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Emily.
She likes nerd culture.
And she likes making podcasts. So we thought we'd join forces to make a podcast about popular online ships.
Sometimes popular online ships.
Or
sometimes the ships we talk about today.
Just the ones we want to talk about.
Right. And whether they're popular or not so popular, the best kind of ships are the ships that you tell us about, are the ships that you like. So send us your favorite ships or thoughts on our conversations, the topics, the couples we talk about, to our email at shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. Again, that is shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. We can't wait to hear from you and the couples you want to hear about. Before we dive in, though, to our lesser known ship this week, I want to know, Emily, who are you shipping this week?
So my ship of the week is another part 2 from me, as has happened before.
Yes.
So the last time we recorded, I was trying to catch up on Magnus Protocol, the podcast, and I have since gotten all caught up, and I was kind of sad about it, and I realized I had missed it, so I decided to re-listen to the original podcast, which is the Magnus Archives. And it's kind of the perfect timing because it's spooky and we're getting into spooky season. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I listened to it many years ago and I just have been thinking about it ever since. So it's kind of like a comfort listen for me, even though it's all spooky.
To go back
all scary.
and revisit it. Yeah.
But yeah, this time, I'm going to pay attention to the ships because I know there's a lot of shipping. And to be honest, I missed basically all of them. So literally, like, the main characters get together, and I didn't realize it when it happened. Like, one of them said, "I love you," and that's when I was...
it's canon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. So they actually get together. I didn't realize it. I thought they had just run away to a cabin in Scotland, like, platonically.
As one does.
Exactly.
And they just said, "I love you," platonically.
Platonically. I even knew they had feelings. Yeah. Anyway, but here I am doing a podcast about shipping.
Let's wake us up. We have to pull our heads out of our asexual bottoms. And
like, love is everywhere.
Yes.
I'm just not open to it.
That's what the message of this podcast is. Love is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
We need that in a time like this. We need that.
And anyway, the love I am going to specifically be listening for this time, because I think it is just so funny, is the love between the characters of Elias Bouchard and Peter Lucas. So this is not a candid couple. This is all the fans. And I just think this is so funny because they're just these two older, like, upper class, like, dudes with middle management vibes. Like, they're your boss, but they are not good at it. They're just kind of in charge. And so they're kind of competing for, like, just a mundane, like, job in the real world. But also they're competing to end the world, but their way. But I guess people see something there. I saw some fanfic that actually tagged, Elias and Peter together. And then it also tagged divorced, which I kind of feel is the vibe.
Yeah, like they're like a divorced couple that never quite get over each other a little bit.
Yeah, like, I know you so well, and we have so much history, but also I kind of hate your guts.
Yeah.
But there's still some, like, tension there. But anyway, so this time I'm keeping an eye out. I'm on season 2, so I think I got a couple seasons to get to before this might happen. But see if I feel it now that I'm aware.
Yeah, now that we've learned the ways of the shipping world.
Yeah. And
Did they interact? Yes.
Yeah.
Put it down. put it on the pages of
It's
AO3.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cute. Let me know if you get it. It'll be a 3-parter, and we'll be like, okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
Now I see it, and I'm shipping this other guy. Well, that's fun though, because you're trying to like look for it, right? As opposed to being won over by it in the jump. Mine was one that I found myself being won over from the jump, and it is kind of sad, but this is the kind of media I consume now because I have small children. But I am talking about a ship from the animated dog show Bluey, because that's my world. And I want to be very clear, I am not a Bluey adult. Like, there's whole Facebook pages and subreddits and people just like on about Bluey, and I'm like, it's a cute show, it's a good show, but the fact that we've talked about this before, the fact that everybody likes it so much makes me like distance myself from it a smidge, because I just like, I can't be such a follower.
See, I guess I'm a little because I'm a follower, because I heard so many positive things. I was like, should me, a childless adult, watch it? And I did watch a few episodes, and it is for children. So I can't say it held my attention.
Right. It's like cute, but at the same time, it feels like I'm being manipulated, like overtly. It's like, oh, we're going to put these things together to be like, hey, you love your kid, right? You know, isn't this great, loving your kid? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's just how it goes. But anyways, there are a lot of people who are very invested in who this fictional dog grows up and marries from the pool of her friends when she's 5, which doesn't seem like super realistic. But anyways, people are like very, they have strong opinions over it. And so I am going to throw my hat into the ring of the Bluey Bachelorette debate. And I'm going to say I am shipping Bluey and Jean-Luc, who is a character that some of the other ships I didn't see. I didn't know. I didn't think about her marrying this one dog she has a couple lines with. But this is like low-key a romantic story for a children's show. So the idea here is that Bluey, who is a 5-year-old blue heeler living in Australia, and she goes with her family on a holiday to go to a campground. And while there, she meets Jean-Luc, who is a French-Canadian, guess what, Labrador Retriever. See how they did that? And he only speaks French. But together, they work out this shared understanding and even come up with this game that they can play together. And they, like, play every single day of vacation.
Aww.
And then one night, as they're saying goodbye, Jean-Luc tells her something, and he, like, looks sad. And, like, as an adult, you know, he's probably like, oh, my vacation's over. I gotta go home. But Bluey doesn't know what he's saying. She's like, okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. And then the next morning, she's looking for him excitedly until her mom says she saw his family pack up. And then Bluey is sad and realizes that he's gone. She'll probably never see him again. And she didn't realize that was the last time they were playing. She goes to the tree where they first met, and she sits down, and she's like sad. And then this is what I mean, like, Bluey is overtly manipulative. It does a time jump, and all of a sudden you're back there, and she's a teenager, like, reading a book under the tree, because I guess they go to the same campground every year. And then all of a sudden you hear a voice off screen go, Bluey, or however you say it in French. Bluey?
Yeah.
Bluey? Bluey? I took 4 years of French. I can't do the accent. And then the episode ends. And it was like the idea that they found each other again is like semi-adult.
Reunited.
And, you know, they leave like the Magnus archives. They leave it open-ended, but I know for sure that those two kiss sometime on that vacation.
Well, that is like, right, kind of the teenage dream. You go on vacation, you meet a
handsome foreigner.
Yeah, you like bond over the week you're there.
Yeah.
And now they're old enough to exchange
pals.
numbers or, you know, Instagrams.
Yeah. So there you go. And that's why I ship them together. It is the least practical of all the ships. But at the end of the day, I think it's the most romantic of the 5-year-old dogs' relationships. But, like, and that's the thing is that Bluey is, like, who is it for? Like, obviously it's made for kids, but so much of it's pandering to the adults and the adults of the specific age group. And there's one thing that age group loves, like, you know, us in our 30s and 40s and that. We love nostalgia. Like, we go bananas for nostalgia. And I know that Bluey makes me feel nostalgic, and it's not even from when I was growing up. So I don't know what kind of recipe voodoo they put in there to make it tug at your heartstrings, but they do. And we're going to take a little bit of that magic because we're talking about something that's nostalgic today. Honestly, one of the top love stories from my childhood, if I'm thinking about it for real.
You know, when you texted me this, I was like, this is probably the most romantic ship we've done.
I think
Just
so.
Like, in pure romance. Yeah.
It is a near modern day Romeo and Juliet playing out against the backdrop of the deep, fresh wounds of Reconstruction America. So who are we talking about today, Emily?
So today we are talking about Miss Katherine, aka Kissing Kate Barlow, and Onion Sam, aka Sam the Onion Man.
AKA Sam of no surname.
He doesn't get a name.
Poor Sam. And they are from the award-winning children's book, and then
Less award-winning, but still,
Yeah,
I would say
good-
popular. Like,
a very
known.
popular kids movie, Holes.
Holes. Dig, dig, dig. That's a Magnus Archives reference.
Dig 'em up them holes, buddy. And it's got the soundtrack slaps. It's like, oh brother, we're out there for children. Like, it's good.
Yeah. Similar vibes.
Yes, precisely. And, you know, we mentioned the point of this podcast is to talk about ships. And we talk a lot about popular ships, right? Or relevant ships. But, you know, we stand by that. Our mission here, our mission is to help you see all the love around you, as we mentioned. And that includes the love that you forgot about. So, or if you haven't heard of it, let us introduce you to this great high romance of children's literature.
Yes.
So let's get into it. Holes.
So Holes is a movie that came out in 2003 based off a children's book written by Louis Sachar in 1998. And it has some big names in it.
That is a star-studded cast.
Sigourney Weaver, I feel like number one. Patricia Arquette, maybe who's big to us.
Yeah.
And even a little baby Shia LaBeouf before Transformers, and I think it's his first movie, so he was doing Disney Channel or even
Yeah,
Stevens.
I did not even recognize him until you said that. But I was watching it, and Sigourney Weaver wears sunglasses for like the first extended part she's on camera. I'm like, who is this actress? She's so familiar. I'm like, is that Julianne Moore? Like, no way do they have Julianne Moore. And then she took off the sunglasses. I was like, oh, wasn't she Alien? Right?
That sounds right. I know she was some awakenings in this movie from my research.
Oh, well,
A hot evil lady.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So the plot of the movie, so in the film, Stanley Yelnats, which is Stanley, so his last name is Stanley spelled backwards. This is one of the few things I remembered about this movie, is that the guy's first name and last name was like a palindrome, and that was plot relevant.
It is.
Anyway.
And he's the fourth. Everybody and all the men in his family share that name.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, plot relevant. He is sent to Camp Green Lake, a juvenile detention camp in Texas, after being wrongly convicted of theft. So in this camp, the inmates are forced to, every day, they must dig a hole. There's like a big dried up lake bed, and that you gotta just dig a hole, and that is good for your
Personal
character.
development.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like improve you. We're supposed to rehabilitate these juvenile delinquents.
Yes. And they have some adventures. There's a warden, that is Warden Walker. That's Sigourney Weaver. And there's, plot there. But really, what we're concerned about is the flashbacks, the origin story. Because why they're digging holes? Because they are secretly looking for the buried treasure of outlaw Kissin Kate Barlow. And throughout the story, we kind of find out what made her become an outlaw. And then how that story kind of intertwines with the modern day story of Stanley's adventures. But really, in the past, that's where the romance is, those flashbacks.
And that's what we're going to be digging in today. So if you came for fanfic stories about Zero and Stanley, I'm sorry.
There's quite a lot of them out there.
We
You'll
didn't
be fine.
dig into that. Yes. I didn't read I guess they're teenagers, so it's a little bit more acceptable, but I didn't read in my mind, they're like 12, you know?
Yeah. They look like kids.
They do. And
Especially
so I
Sarah,
was
she's
like,
a little.
I guess these are probably being shipped by kids. So then that gets the pass.
I mean, it's a kid's book. Apparently kids are reading it and they're going to relate to the kids, you know?
More so than us old folks who
Yeah.
are like, yes, the outlaws.
Yeah.
So what was your experience with this? Is this the first time you've ever delved into the holes?
I've definitely seen it. I mean, because when Rachel texted me that we should do this ship in all caps, I was like, yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I figured, yeah, you were excited or just wanted to talk about Dule Hill because that's my main connection to this.
Yes, that's a very special connection.
Yes. So the character of Sam is played by Dule Hill, who also plays Gus in Psych. So this predates Psych. So he did this and then got the role in Psych. And we are big fans of Psych. And apparently there's a couple jokes in Psych about his role in Holes. One of which is that during the episode with the dinosaur, they're in a kind of a dig. So there's holes everywhere. And Gus goes, oh, it's like that movie with Sigourney Weaver. And then throughout the episode, Sean tries to guess the movie, but never actually says it. And I just bring this up because the episode with the dinosaur is the first episode of Psych that I ever saw. And I knew I had to... I knew I needed to see more.
It comes full circle. It's
Yes,
a
I
sign.
know.
It's a sign.
I specifically remember the first one.
And do you remember that line? Did you get the
I just
joke?
remember that there was a dinosaur in it.
Okay, yeah, because that was kind of their bit, is that they're always referencing old movies.
He also says I can fix that at some point during the run of Psych. There's many
Of
seasons,
course
so
he
they had
does.
lots of time.
Lots of opportunity to make these jokes.
Yep. So basically, yeah, I remember that as the movie that Gus is in. I did remember the romance and specifically how it ended. I think that left an impact on me, my little innocent 12-year-old self.
It is impactful.
And then the thing with the character's name being the first name being the same as the last name. Those were all the things I remember. And also, I think them just biting into onions like an apple.
That does leave an impression. I had forgotten the onion piece until this endeavor, and it was shocking even to read.
I did too until I rewatched it and saw that scene, and I was just like visceral reaction to that.
Yeah, well, they were starving, I guess, so that makes the
still,
difference.
But I can like taste it. Yeah.
But these were special onions, Emily.
Yes,
They
I
were
know. They
special.
said that. Yeah.
So I too fell in love with Psych, and I think that is also what cemented Holes into my life, because I'm pretty sure I had seen it at some point in elementary school, and I probably had one of those awkward trying not to cry moments in the classroom, like when this all went down with the romance. Because you remember that feeling? Like they'd put on movies and there'd be scenes where people would die, or the teacher would read a book about somebody dying, and you would just be there like, don't cry.
God, Shiloh, right? Anything with the animal, I'm already like halfway there.
I know. Why the heck do they do that to us? Like, I felt like every year in elementary school, I had at least one big cry. And it was like not even about my life. It would just be about something we were learning about. Like Day of the Dead. Like that would move me to tears frequently. Still does. Anyways, that's what Holes did to me in the classroom. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And then I do know I watched it as an adult because of the Dule Hill connection. And I remember even as an adult being like, this is a good love story. Like it got my heart going. And then much like Bluey, smash cut to the future. And not that long ago, I saw a particular edit of this couple on my TikTok For You page, because that's what I get now. TikTok knows that I'm looking into couples. And my first thought, much like the top comment, was, has it always been Patricia Arquette in this movie the whole time? Like, I did not, and I felt like I should remember that, but apparently I forgot. But now that I saw it again and the story recapped in a way that speaks to the modern viewer in the TikTok edit, pan edit, I'm invested again. And I'm like, this is a story that needs to be revisited. And not only did I revisit it in the form of TikTok edits and reading about it online, I also watched the movie, which is available on Hulu, and I read the motherfucking book. That's right. I went to the children's section of the library. I looked around. The librarian asked if I needed help. I said, no, I want to solve this on my own.
Yeah, I gotta use my brain on this.
Yes. And then I read the entire book in one day. It took about 2 hours-ish, I think, maybe 2.5 hours. and I've read it during nap time and after bedtime, and damn, it's a good book. That is a Newbery Award-winning book. That is good. I laughed. I cried. I have more thoughts on it, but I'll save it for the end about the whole thing as a package, because the movie is good, right? But it's not as it is. It's not as good as the book.
Okay, because I tried to get the audiobook. Yeah, the audiobook's only 5 hours. I figured I could 2x speed that, get through it in one long walk. But yeah, it did not come through. Has a lot of holds, so I did just watch the
which
movie.
speaks to the power of it.
Yeah,
I just got lucky because there's a new edition that has a different cover, and I don't think people knew it was holes, so all the other ones were checked out. So I snagged it. I also got it on DVD before I realized I have no way to watch a DVD. I hooked up the PS3 or whatever, and then I'm we don't have any controllers. Luckily, it was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also requested it from the library first before watching on Hulu. So I need to swing by the library, take it from the hold shelf into the return bucket.
Anyways, the biggest gripe that I had with the movie was the book made a very big point of talking about Stanley being fat. It was a major component of the book is how he was constantly bullied and how he became such a good, he became very strong because he was digging all the holes. He was a big kid. But apparently you just can't have a fat kid lead a movie, which is actually false because Heavyweights and Angus had already shattered the glass scale of Hollywood, and it coming out in 1995. So come on now. Let's have a fat kid be the main character in the movie. I didn't like that change, but I just like to see chubby kid representation.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just had to get that all off my chest. Now let's get to the juice here. The actual ship. This lives in our hearts, man, but not really online. There's not a lot of discourse about Sam the Onion Man and Kissin Kate Barlow, so they didn't have a name that I could find. So I feel like this is our first opportunity to really come up with a name. So did you have any ideas?
No.
I just sprung this on you.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of options.
Kissin onions. Yeah.
Kissin onions. The onion kiss is what I had written down. That doesn't sound very good. I had Sam Low, but I don't know. That's probably the most legitimate. I also had Kissing Sam, which then became Missing Sam. Frowny face.
Oh.
And then the really best one I could come up with was Kiss It, Fix It. Fix It, Kiss It. Something like that.
That's kind of fun. Kissing, Fix It. Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, so
Kiss It.
In the world of Ship Happens, this is the Fix It, Kiss It, Fix It couple. It sounds weird to say.
Kissing, fixing.
Fixes, kisses, fixes, something like that. Or the two that make up kisses,
but
fixes.
Let's talk about the kissers and the fixers. So first we start with kissing Kate Barlow, or Katherine Barlow. So she is played by Patricia Arquette, who I just remembered as Medium.
She is in the very famous TV show Medium, and that would also hold a special place in my heart because my mom used to let our mother, Emily and I have the same one, so we're told. She used to let me stay up a whole hour later to watch Medium. Emily not included for some reason. I don't know why it was just me, but I got to stay up from 9 p.m.
I needed my sleep.
to 10 p.m. Emily just didn't want to be around us anymore. She's like, I'm done with you guys. I need to go be by myself. But anyway, so I always thought it was super cool to stay up late and watch Medium.
Yes, with Patricia
Arquette.
I guess this is pre-Medium too. But anyway, so...
Well, she had a career before all of this.
Yeah, well, the Arquette sisters, right?
Well, I didn't know that, but good for them. Sisters. Sister pairs are great.
More sisters. Support sisters. Sisters support sisters.
Sisters supporting sisters. I mean, that's a different meaning. One day we'll be at the same level.
Yeah, sure. But anyway, so yeah. Katherine, Kissin Kate. Who is she? She starts as a small town school teacher in the olden times. So this is olden timey Texas.
I looked it up. 1888.
Yes, 1888. And she is very hot in that. It's real important.
I added that just to make sure you said it.
Yeah, definitely hottest lady there. So through the flashbacks, you see the story of how she starts as this kind of more mild-mannered school teacher she's teaching adults who can't read. She's just like a nice lady, but she becomes this fearsome outlaw called Kissin Kate, who murders men and then gives them a kiss, leaving her signature kiss mark on their like cheeks with her bright red lipstick. So even hotter now.
Yeah, that's just straight queen behaviors.
Yeah, kicks ass.
Especially when you find out why, her motivation.
Yes, and you're like, she is completely justified.
Right, she's like burn it all down.
Yes.
For her mans. Mm-hmm. And that mans is Sam, the onion mans.
Yes.
That's really his name, poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's very important to the story, and his only name is Sam the Onion Man. Not even a surname. But he is played by the infamous Dule TT Showbiz Hill of Psych fame. So in this movie, Dule as Sam the Onion Man, he is kind of the town witch doctor in a sense, because he collects these onions and he sells them. And in the book, he's literally introduced as a juxtaposition to the medical doctor. It says when the town people get sick, they go to the medical doctor and they go to Sam. So they don't know who fixes them, but they get better, right? And so he sells these onions on a cart pulled by his mule or his donkey named Mary Lou. And he's just like an all-around wholesome dude. He gets the onions, he makes tonics of them, he makes ointments, he can concoct things that help people feel better. And he kind of like takes care of the community, and he helps out little old Katherine whenever he can with some repairs around the school.
Yeah, he starts, I think, fixing the roof, and then she just keeps finding problems because she knows good contractors are hard to find.
They certainly are. And
I'm really appreciating that right now.
like you're going through a kitchen reno.
Yeah.
Ugh, not fun. But then these two are also balanced in the fact that like Sam he's responsible for these really great onions, and then Katherine makes the best spiced peaches in all of Texas or something like that. So they have that kind of combination where they can trade those goods. And
so what do you think are spiced peaches?
They looked like peaches that were in a jar.
Yes, like a sweet, like a
yes, yeah. I'm thinking like cinnamon, and cardamom, and that kind of stuff. I bet they're very good.
Because they're canned. So to me, that's like pickles. So that's like vinegar.
Oh, no.
But they can't be right.
No. Let's look it up. It's probably preserved in some kind of like, oh no, it's easy southern pickled peaches.
Pickled peaches.
Cinnamon, allspice, clove. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you get enough sugar and spices in there, it doesn't taste pickly.
Apparently there's no vinegar. It's just those things, I think.
Okay. I don't know if that would have lasted 100 years.
However you make them, she made the best spiced peaches. And those are some of the ways that they came together, because Katherine and Sam both lived in the town of Green Lake before it was a camp, when it was a flourishing lake and apparently lots of greenery around. And he would do business with Katherine. In the book, she would buy onions and then she would buy extra ones just to feed his donkey, Mary Lou. And I thought that was indicative of who she is as a person. That she just wanted to, like, give the donkey a treat.
Aw, and that was a cute donkey in the movie.
I know, justice for Mary Lou.
Yes,
but
justice.
But we don't want to get to that part yet.
So yeah, that's there. I guess meet cute in the book. In the movie, we first see them interact when Katherine walks up with some of the kids that she teaches, while Sam's kind of doing his patter, giving his spiel about the health benefits of his onions. And he's very charming. He's very good at it. They swap onions and peaches, and then they exchange a lingering glance. And you can feel the tension as the two hottest people in this little town. And then some white men go by, and then there is racial tension as well.
Yeah, you're just like, that can't be good.
because we have not said this, but Doolittle is a black man.
Yes. I think we can both agree that that is a meet cute.
Yes, it was very cute.
It was the first of many cutes to happen until everything went very wrong.
Yes, yes.
Let's dig into where the romance goes after that meet cute. Because
Yes.
Katherine, she is not just a very kind-hearted, community-focused young lady. She's also apparently pretty, right? As we established, she's hot. That's important. Because she attracts the attention of a very rich daddy's boy who father owns like the whole town, and he wants her for himself because obviously she's the best looking, he wants the best, da-da-da-da. Wants to take her out on a steamboat, and she's like, no. I don't want anything to do with you.
No.
I see the contents of your character, and it is sour. Like spiced peaches gone wrong.
He says, no one turns down whatever my name is. And she
Trout.
says, Trout
Walker.
right?
Yeah.
No one says no to Trout Walker. And she goes, well, I just did.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
And among popular standout lines like that, the pinnacle of all of Holes, like if you think about Holes, you don't think about anything the boys at the detention camp said. You think one line. And what is that line?
I can fix that.
Right. It's so good. It's this generation's As You Wish.
Exactly. I was
Because
like, it's up there with As You Wish. We were just like, oh.
just your heart goes, oh.
Yeah.
Because what happens is Katherine is complaining about the leaky roof, and that in the school, and how that like disrupts her school days, and that's when Sam goes, oh, I can fix that. And so then he fixes that, and she was like, well, the roof's great, but now the windows, we'd like them to open. So it's just like every time she brings something new, he says, I can fix that. And she just keeps finding more and more things for him to fix. And their relationship kind of blossoms during that time.
Yeah, and you find out, I think while he's helping out around the schoolyard, that not only does he know onions and, is he handy, but he also knows some poetry. At least in the movie, he's able to quote some, I think it's Poe is the poet.
Annabelle Lee. That's one
Yeah.
of my favorite poems of Poe as well.
And they exchange another lingering glance. A lot of this romance is held up with lingering glances.
Yes, it's off the page, which
Yes.
is kind of true for the book as well. But the book, it does give substance to the romance in the same way, where they say they had lots of long conversations while he worked around the school, and she would try to teach him poetry and talk about literature, but he already knew a lot of the poems she'd read to him by heart and that kind of stuff. So you can find that they're kind of cut from the same cloth. They are both intellectuals who like appreciate that kind of romantic air a little bit more, which builds to the romance of them. And it all comes together in a moment where in the movie she's just crying at her desk.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad that there's some more reasoning here.
Yes.
Yeah, he walks up while she's crying and says, I can fix that. And then they kiss, which is like, you don't know why she was crying. It's kind of a little out of nowhere.
Yes.
I guess in the book it's a bit more. Yeah.
It's a little bit more evident. So in the book, it's made clear that there's less things she's run out of things for him to fix, and so she doesn't see him. And so one time he does come by the school with his donkey and his onion cart, and so she runs out to see him, and she's so excited and sad that she doesn't get to see him more, that it even says she hugs the donkey because she wants to hug him but she can't, so she just pours her affection onto the donkey. And he asks her what's wrong, and she says, my heart is breaking, to which he responds, I can fix that. And then they kiss, and you cry and cheer. But because it's the 1880s, that doesn't end well.
No.
Some shrew sees them kissing and gets a mob started against them.
Yeah, so, right, in the movie, it's the spurned shithead.
Oh, yes.
So,
of course it is, because he's trolling
course.
around trying to, get his second chance with her.
Yeah. So, yeah, someone has witnessed their relationship, and I guess that is illegal. back in those days. So they get a whole mob together, and they of course start by burning down the school.
Which I believe is a long-standing Texan tradition, honestly. That's just a regular Friday night down there in the Longhorn State.
Set some buildings on fire.
No, specifically educational buildings.
Schools, yeah.
Hey, I mean, of the things that happened that depicted that evening, I could have said worse things. Was their was the state pastime.
So, while they're burning down her whole school, Kate runs to the sheriff for help. He's drunk, and he says, maybe I'll help if you give me a kiss. He says, you kissed a black man, so why can't you kiss me? So now we get racism, we got some toxic masculinity, and now we got some slut shaming thrown in for the mix. So the past was great.
The big issues.
Yeah.
And she calls him out on that. Like, she's like, you're drunk. Mm-hmm. And then he utters the heart-wrenching line, I'm always drunk before hanging. And then, as a reader, you're like, ruh-roh. And she says, well, if you hang him, you got to hang me too. And he said it's only illegal for him to kiss you, not the other way around, which I was like, I don't know all the rules from back then, but I guess they weren't going to string up a white lady. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But like,
yeah,
okay.
She said, you have to hang me because I kissed him back.
Right.
But, I don't know. So I guess, they're burning a building. There's not like this is sneaky. So Sam flees. He gets on his boat, tries to get out of there, at least buy some more time. But he is chased down by the shithead and shot.
Yes.
And he
could not escape the steam engine of white supremacy and systemic oppression.
No.
They chase him down. That's the reality. And in the book, it's slightly different because Kate is trying to flee with him. And the boat like crashes and knocks him into the water like the steamboat does. And then he's shot in the water. It's horrible. Like the movie, they smooth over it a little bit, right? You just see silhouettes and shadows. But like that's still heartbreaking.
Right. For the kids' movie, you're not like kind of expecting to be confronted with the realities of the past.
The dark reality of the past, right? But luckily, the book and the movie is set in a world of consequences and justice because their love and the breaking of it ends up inflicting an entire curse on the area for 100 years. The day they're like say frequently, the last time it rained in Green Lake was the day that Sam was killed. And so the lake dries up. The rich guy loses all of his money because the town goes away. And there's like this poetic justice. And then it's also poetic in the sense in the book that when that old lady sees them kissing, she says, God will punish you. But turns out God had some different opinions about it and who was worth punishing because that was you, honey boo boo. Y'all got punished. Ha ha ha.
100-year drought.
We all wish the world actually worked that way. But this is the part of the movie where there's a bigger twist, right? So what happens is that Dule comes out of the water and he says, just kidding, I'm fine. And then he and Patricia Arquette run off to Santa Phoenix, Arizona to open a psychic detective agency that exclusively solves murders of young white ladies. That's messed up. No, because it is funny that both of these actors are later connected to psychic mystery solving television shows.
Put together. Yeah. Sean's the psychic but Sean's a fake psychic, right? Medium's a real psychic.
Yeah, it's just like we were really into psychics for a hot moment there.
There was the mentalist,
medium,
like the same kind of thing.
Ghost whisperer. it was a hot button issue there for a moment. There was a psychic on TLC. But no, unfortunately, that situation is not what happened.
No.
He stayed dead and she stayed mad, which is like good on her. The first thing she did was go and murder that fucking useless sheriff. And after she shot him
morning. Yeah.
She's like
strolls in
her red ass dress looking like a fucking snack. She's like, you ready for that kiss, sheriff? Boom, boom. And then she kissed him. And that's how she got her signature, like, calling card, was when she murdered somebody, she'd give him a big old kiss and leave her lipstick behind. And then she goes on a tirade across the wild, wild west, and you get this really cool montage that is definitely like stock video. They like pulled it out of the Warner Brothers slot archives. Because I don't believe it was all, I don't think they shot all that stuff. I think they literally pieced it together. Yeah. Because there's no close-ups.
It was like the spinning old-timey newspapers, like headline.
So she goes on this tirade, gets really rich, rips across the Wild West as a bandit. And then she goes back to Green Lake when she has decided, I guess it's time to end her life of crime and her life in general.
As a whole. Her heart was broken and she just, I guess she tried to fill it with loot and revenge and it just hasn't worked out. So
I saw people online being like, she tried to take it out on all the other rich people because she would rob rich people, including... Nice. Stanley Yenlow the First.
So yeah, when she has her loot, she's put it all in a box, a chest that has Stanley's name on it, and she buries it somewhere out in that dried up lake. So just as a final fuck you to everyone.
Yep.
Like, I got all this money, I got all your money, and you're never gonna find it. And when she decides it's over, she goes to the remains of the boat that Sam was in the dried up lake. She has a sit down and she says, she has kind of she sees Sam, a final kind of hallucination. She says, "It's so hot, but I'm so cold."
And then what does Sam say?
He says, "I can fix that."
And he gets down with her, and then she gets her attention gets torn away by that good for nothing Trout Walker and his little child bride coming up, and then she turns around and he's gone, and I'm just like, no, but they'll be together soon.
Yes, I shed a tear, a single tear.
It was sad. I just wanted them to be back together. That's like,
yeah.
Yeah,
right, it's just bullshit that they can't be.
Right, it's just making me so mad.
Yeah,
and the book, the line I think was a little bit better too, because she says it's so hot, but I'm so cold. Then she like lists all the parts of her that are cold, and the last thing she says is my heart is cold, which is a throwback to my heart is breaking, right? And then in the book he doesn't really appear, but it says she swears she can hear him say I can fix that sometimes, and it's just, it got me.
Yeah. That makes I like that line a bit better because she just says it's hot, but I'm cold. It's kind of like, what?
What do you mean? Yeah,
just
but
like,
my heart
I guess
is
metaphorically cold. Yeah,
yeah. Why say many words when few words do good?
Yeah, I like that's something you say when you're already dying. Yes. But, yeah.
But anyway, so then the good for nothing Trout Walker shows up, demands the loot, right? And she refuses to give it up. He says he's going to torture her, and in the book he starts torturing her. Then in walks one of those lizards, those death lizards, and it bites her on accident, and she says, "Good luck finding it. You're going to have to dig. You and your kids kids are going to have to dig for 100 years, and you're not going to find it." Which is also the same vein as the movie, only I did like in the movie better. She grabbed the lizard, and she held the lizard up to bite her herself. But in either case, she died laughing, and that's important because she still won at the end.
Yeah. The main character, Kissin Kate.
Yes, of the book holes.
There's like a whole bunch of other stuff that happens, but
yeah, this is the story we're focusing on because I like it. You know, and to be fair, in the book, this entire saga was like 11 pages out of the 230-page children's book. But it left a pack. It left an impression. Yes.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
And it is, because the fans that are out there, they still like it, right? They like the romance of it. It's a good story. And I'm going to link the TikTok. Emily probably hasn't watched it. But the TikTok edit that set me down this hole again.
Right. So why do people like it? I mean, it's romantic. It's so romantic. He fixes her schoolhouse and then her broken heart.
And it's like the theme of love across obstacles. It's like star-crossed lovers who are drawn together, but society pulls them apart. And I feel like interracial romance was having a big moment in the 90s and early 2000s where the kids today are probably like, what's the big deal? Which is good. That's progress.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was like, I guess, more controversial. So it was, like putting them in these kind of stories, they were calling attention to it. And that's kind of what made it where it is today, where it's not a radical thing, which is good.
Yes. Obviously.
Right.
I think also with the fans, like, I mean, Kate becomes a real badass. Like, you, not only do you have the love lost, you have this kind of like revenge story with it too. So you get some kind of, it's not just all tragedy. There's a little bit of like closure there, and
it presents women in a good way, because there's been many a male author that would have had Kate walk into the lake or some shit, just to like kill herself instantly because her boyfriend is gone. But instead she takes agency and she kicks ass. And that's something that was not happening a lot in stories at that time. So to have something like this, it made a mark, I think, on a lot of young girls, ourselves included. But when you look into the fandom of Holes, sure, you get a lot of stuff about the kids. But when you look at this, there's a certain demographic that's really latched on to Kissin Kate Barlow. And it's like not even just the romance, but just like the character herself and how she was like a total bad bitch. And that's something that, that stuck with girls who read the book and watched the movie. Like they're dressing up as her for Halloween today. So that's cool.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. She really left an impression. So I think that kind of helps. You have a great romance and then also this great character from the flashback. And that's part of why does the fans like it? Hot characters.
Truly. I mean, the only way it could be hotter is if Sam the Onion Man started tap dancing.
Yeah.
Tap man.
So talented.
Yeah.
But even though it was hard to find stuff specifically about this ship, but there's still a fandom out there. It is possible to find some posts on Tumblr, some fanfics written this year.
Right. And there's a subreddit. It's small but mighty. There's a post like maybe every month or so. And things are looking up for Holes fandom, and maybe this ship here. We're going to be at the cutting edge. We're going to be the ones who coined the term kiss it, fix it, right?
Yeah.
Because Disney announced in 2025, earlier this year, that they are going to be doing a reboot for Disney Plus. I believe it's going to be a TV show, but it's going to have a gender swapped version of Holes, where it's a girls' camp. The last article I saw about it was in May. So, I mean, still, like, things don't happen that fast. So, it could be probably out next year or the year after. I have to keep my ear to the ground on that one, because if and when it does come out, I will find a way to watch it, because I want to see more of Kate and Sam's love story. And I've a lot of people, a lot of other fans do too. That was a lot of the discourse I saw, was like, people just wanted a movie about Kate.
Yeah. That's
and
like a whole plot there. Yeah.
But like Sam is like, his story would have to be before. It would have to all be like his origin story and then her outlaw story.
Work to do some present day flashbacks like the original.
Yeah, that would
what
be
happened
cute.
Before, what happened after.
But either way, I got kind of excited when I learned that, because I do want to watch it. Because this is a very good couple. This is a very strong couple. And normally we like to talk about the criticisms, like the fan wars, what people are saying about it. But let's be real. There's not a lot of critics of these two.
Yeah. It's good.
I mean, it's like high romance. What else could you say?
Yeah.
Except for here are my criticisms. Because I guess I got to have something. These criticisms exist on the internet? No. Do they now? Yes. So let's say it, the critic here. Put on my hater hat. What did I not like about the ship? Okay, I get it. Your boyfriend was murdered, but you only just started dating. It wasn't like this was your lifelong partner that was murdered or taken away from you. You like didn't have kids and all that stuff. But if he was a white dude, I'd probably be like, girl, what are you doing? But the fact that the racial element to it just made it that much more unfair, that I was like, okay, I get it. Like you're the moral high ground. But at the same time, Like, did you have to choose to be miserable the rest of your life, right? Like, you knew him for a year, and it's like 20 years later, right? You know, like the original crash out was valid. I'd say, like, yeah, shoot the sheriff, shoot the other guy, take the money, run. But I guess at some point she was just already so far down that path.
I guess that you're just disillusioned with society as a whole, and you just can't come back from it. You know, you don't want to engage ever again. Yeah, and then you're just a criminal, so you're kind of stuck being a criminal.
Just like, shoot, now I got to do this forever. That's why 20 years later, she's like, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
Which 20 years, she was like 20, early 20s. So 42? She's like, I'm over it. But anyways, that's me taking my romantic hat off for a second. They were soulmates. They never would have found another love like that. Anyways, the last but not least, that feather was weird. Like, why did he take his feather out of his hat and just give it to her while making like intense eye contact? I was like, what's happening? This is a little cringe, but you know, I let it go because the overall love story was so good. So there we have it. Now there's officially criticisms on Kate Barlow and Sam the Onion Man. It's hard to do, but these are the things that stood out to me as like, huh?
And it is, right, kind of, it's a subplot. So they got to do a lot of work in a little amount of time.
Well, and honestly, like, is that what makes it so strong too? Is like sometimes less more?
Yeah.
Which is the one of the discussion boards I have where it's like literally 10 pages of the book as them together. So it's just like, maybe just giving us a story without all the nitty gritty can make a love story a little bit more like a campfire story. Everybody's going to remember a campfire story they heard that really scared the crap out of them, but they're not going to remember every detail of, I don't know, Saw 5. So it just,
right. Well, and that's the vibe this is like a, you know, it's the kind of story that your guide on a ghost tour tells, you know, it's not... It's an urban legend type feel. Like you're not in it for details and maybe these people existed, maybe they didn't, but it's just a good little story.
It's folklore, right?
Yes,
yeah, and I think that's
folklore.
why it does so well. I mean, that's one of the, I could go on and on about why I think the book is so good, but yeah, I think that the fact that they didn't flesh it out too much, we didn't know all these other details, is like what makes it so great too, right? Because it lets us put whatever we want onto it. Which didn't necessarily translate to fan works. Because let's just be real, they're sparse.
Yes, so on our favorite AO3, there's only 111 works total for Holes the movie. And 9 of which are for Kate and Sam. So
not even the
I
double
do
digits.
think AO3's newer, so I do think this movie predates it, so that might be part of it.
Okay.
But there is 50 for Stanley and 0.
Of course.
There's some more shipping amongst the boys in the book, which I believe, you know, like I said, it's a kid's book. It's written for kids. The kids are going to relate a bit more to
those characters than the adults out doing the adult things.
Yes.
But I will say that of the 9 Kate and Sam the Onion Man fanfics, 7 out of 9 were written post 2021. So I believe this ship is going to make a comeback. I think we're going to be on the cutting edge, and we're going to send all these people out to the fandom, right? We're going to get all these Kate converts. And if Disney makes the reboot,
even more.
I think there's a strong chance that this will grow a little bit more, at least to 10, maybe 12. We'll see.
Get that final one in there.
Exactly. But did you see, because I mean, there's 9 of them. I looked through them all. But did you see the one that was like listed as a crossover with Medium and Psych? It had like every TV show under the sun, and I actually pulled up the entire work. It was like 45 chapters long, and I did a command search. They were nowhere in there. It's like somebody must have just loaded it up with all the tags, because there was even an Alison Dubois / Burton Guster. I was like, I want to read that, but again, it was nowhere in there.
Oh,
I was so mad. There was nothing, none of the names of the Holes characters, none of the names of the Psych or Medium characters. I'm like, what a tease.
You're just tagging stuff, with
I guess
things
so.
that aren't even in there.
It was mostly Once Upon a Time.
I do see that comes up a lot while I'm doing research. We
got to do one of those.
There's a lot of
eventually.
crossovers.
I mean, we could do a whole 8-part series on that. It seems.
Yeah, there's so many characters. I could think of a couple right now. But
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Add it to the calendar. But yeah, so didn't find a whole lot on AO3. So I thought, well, you know what? It's an older movie. Let me go digging into the Wild West of fan fiction. So I looked into Wattpad and fanfiction.net, which I have not explored yet. So in Wattpad, I found there was more in Wattpad. I think Wattpad's older, so that kind of makes sense. I found 500 stories under the tag holes, but who knows?
Yeah, you were afraid to like click
what
on
that
them.
meant.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't find any on fanfiction.net, but AO3 is much easier to navigate.
I can imagine.
And to find.
Yeah, those are like old school.
Yeah.
Stacks.
I did kind of notice a lot of the Wattpad stories seem to be along the similar theme, and that was a girl gets sent to the Green Lake camp.
Oh. Well, to be fair, there was,
on brand.
not very many girls in the story outside of Kate and the warden and Mom. And before we wrap up, I'm just going to say this is the gold standard for children's literature, I think. And I just haven't read a lot of kids' books, I guess, lately. But I'm like, I really respected what happened here. It looked into a lot of the real issues, and it didn't pull any punches. It wasn't like overly like belabored the point. It wasn't overly gross or gory or violent, but it still had these heavy topics happen that were real. And so much of kids media is sugar coated because we don't want to like expose them to things, but like, no, this was history. This was real. Like the racial issues, the prejudice, the violence. And like it even talks about modern day stuff of like inequality and like the poor kids and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh, this is how it should be. Like, tell the kids what's up, but like, don't scare them. Don't write all the details, but like, don't lie to them either. That's why I just thought it was a really good work. And I also liked how all the layers were on top of each other of Henry's grandfather's story and his story and then Kate and Sam's story and how they all got woven together. And then
right, because so in the end, it's like their love cursed the whole town. But then, because it was denied. But then their love like ends up being what kind of saves these kids, because the onions and the peaches save the kids. Yeah. And then, right, onions and peaches are like what brings Stanley's family fortune once they break the curse. So it's like their love, even 100 years later, is still like out there helping people out.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's just a good all tying it together.
Right. And I think that's a beautiful place to end it as well. Mm-hmm. Anything else we didn't talk about? You'll just have to fill those holes yourself. Oh, well, that's not like that. I forget this is the online shipping podcast.
We have a wholesome one here.
Yeah, this is the wholesome one. But before we truly wrap up, we have to do our one true pairing scores. Yes. And I mean, like, do we have to break out the categories, or do we just say, like, it's a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that might mark it down is it hot, because it's children's literature, it's children's movie. It's like more romantic than hot.
Yeah, you can't pack a whole lot of steam into that. They get a kiss.
But I bet you could if you did an adult version of their love story.
Oh yeah, holes for adults.
Sorry, that's even worse than fill your own holes.
So I typed in holes into Tumblr to see, because there is like posts on Tumblr. I typed it. No, it wouldn't let me. It said this goes against our guidelines.
And you're like, oh my god, that's a book.
I was like, we'll see what I see. But yeah, no, I had to type in holes movie, and that got me.
Oh, okay.
Got me some posts. No, I got denied.
I'm gonna see. I want to see holes in your mutts. That's what I'm gonna. Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah. So what's my rating? I'm gonna say my rating 9 out of 10. Onions. Keep it easy. Keep it easy.
Easy. I'm gonna do 10 out of 11 yellow spots on a yellow spotted lizard.
Yeah.
Because they had specifically 11, and if you got close enough to count them, you're dead. That was a fun little bit about them. I also liked how they were just played by bearded dragons who were just like the laziest
lizards.
Yeah. They're just like the most chill. They're just like, oh my god, I guess I'll run for a couple steps. Just like hanging out. Chill lizards. lizard actors.
They're just like with the brightest yellow spots painted on them. Just like
The lizards were like slightly corny, but no, it was still good. Still good. And I highly recommend if you have kids that are age appropriate, let them read the book or read it yourself if you want to read a book in a day and feel like a badass. All
Add
right.
to that total book read.
I
number.
know. Look at my story graph grow, baby. And if you want our story graphs to grow, send us your favorite romantic pairing from a book that you were reading, and we will add it to our list. And I don't know, probably read it, at least skim it, for an upcoming episode. Again, send us your thoughts on your holes. Please don't. Send us thoughts on the book or the movie holes, as well as any couple you want us to cover at shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. This was a last minute edition because we teased an old TV show, but we are going to bring that back for a special spooky 2-parter in October. So get excited. And you'll just have to wait 2 weeks to hear more about that. But don't worry, we will definitely be back with more episodes because when it comes to the movies, TV shows, books, and all the things that we love, ship happens.